is Step 1 with Freddie Wilson. Welcome to another episode of Step 1. I am Freddie Wilson. As a reminder, you can find every episode of Step 1 on Spotify and YouTube. And if you want to see more Step 1, give me a follow on Instagram at Step 1 with Freddie Wilson and Twitter at Step 1 Podcast. Got a great show for you today. We got our third annual NBA preview with Jacob Feldstien. Simon Gelbard could not make it this year. We also got a wild weekend of college football and the NFL to recap and some exciting games to preview. All right, let's ride. We had an awesome weekend of college football. It all started Friday with a big upset as Miami falls to Louisville. Miami's still a good team, but this was an embarrassing loss. Throwing 4 interceptions is not a recipe for winning, and credit to Louisville. They are an underrated team in the ACC. Moving to Saturday at high noon, Vanderbilt got a big win against LSU. Vanderbilt's good, and LSU is in trouble. And I think if he wasn't already, Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. Georgia Tech got another win, remaining undefeated. I don't think we talk enough about Georgia Tech on this podcast, but they're undefeated. They look like a really good football team. Moving to the afternoon, Georgia survives in Athens as they take down Ole Miss. Texas Tech falls to Arizona State. I still think Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12, but the Big 12 is a jungle of a conference where any team can beat anyone. And with a backup quarterback, Texas Tech couldn't weather the storm. Texas A&M remains undefeated as they survive a scare from Arkansas. This is not your typical Aggies team. This is a team with an explosive offense, but the big question is, can the defense do enough to help them win more games? Because the defense definitely struggled in this game. Washington State almost played spoiler again against a ranked team as they almost beat Virginia. Now, this is probably the last time we're going to talk about Washington State, but they gave 2 good teams a big scare these last 2 weeks. Oregon got a monster win against Rutgers, and I was there to see it all. Rutgers game day experience is a lot of fun. Great bars, great march band. They even had the Rizzler in attendance to hype up the crowd. But by halftime, the vibes were an all-time low, and the stadium was taken over by Ducks fans. Moving into Saturday night, Texas survives an overtime scare against Kentucky. Now, Texas did not deserve to win this game, but their defense was able to stop Kentucky's unimaginative offense. Notre Dame got a big win against USC and keeps their playoff hopes alive. Notre Dame started the season with 2 bad losses, but now they showed everyone they can beat a good team. Alabama enjoyed their victory cigars and singing Dixieland Delight as they ran over Tennessee. Alabama's on the roll. While they still have some tough games, it seems like no one can stop them right now. And finally, BYU remains undefeated as they take down Utah in the Holy War. BYU is another team we don't talk about a whole lot, but maybe we should. They're playing solid football in the Big 12, and I think we're going to see them in Dallas for the Big 12 championship, and maybe even in the playoff. Moving to the NFL, full disclosure, did not watch much of the games this week. I was traveling all day Sunday, but we'll still do a recap to the best of my ability. It all started Thursday night with an epic battle between Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers. The Bengals got a much-needed win. I still don't think the season's going anywhere for the Bengals, but the fact that they beat their division rival is a huge deal for the Bengals. Moving to Sunday morning, the Rams got a monster win in London against the Jaguars. The Jaguars are faltering a little bit after a solid start to the season. Moving to the early slot of games, the Patriots stay hot as they get a win against the Titans. Now, the Patriots have a very easy schedule, but they still look like a solid team, and Drake May is playing good football. The Browns got a much-needed win, although it was against the Dolphins, so that doesn't mean much. The Jets remain winless, and I don't think they're going to win a game this season. The Bears are on a hot streak, but I personally don't think it's sustainable. Remember last year they were 4-2, and we all know how last season ended for the Bears. I think with the exception of the Cowboys, they've been some bad teams, and I think once they start playing better teams, they aren't going to keep winning. The Colts are still the best team in the NFL as they beat the Chargers. Daniel Jones combined with Jonathan Taylor are forming the best 1-2 punch in the NFL, in my opinion. Moving the afternoon, we had a comeback for the ages with the Denver Broncos scoring 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Giants. Broncos had nothing going for them, but they found a way to win a game, or really the Giants found a way to lose. The Giants are still a fun team, but they're not ready to compete with the big boys in the NFL. But Jackson Dart is definitely the future of that franchise. The Packers got a big win down in the desert as they beat the Arizona Cardinals. Again, didn't watch most of the game. I'm just glad we got a big win. And on Sunday night, we had the Falcons fall to a depleted 49ers team. The Falcons should have won this game. They are good enough to beat Mac Jones and the 49ers, a team riddled with injuries, but they couldn't stop Christian McCaffrey, and the 49ers were able to get a win. And on Monday night, we had two games. The first was a blowout from the Lions against the Buccaneers. The Lions are really good, and while their offense wasn't as explosive as usual, by that I mean they didn't score 40 points, their defense stepped up. The other game was the Seahawks and the Texans, which I did not watch because it started at 10 o'clock. You know my thoughts on the 10 o'clock kickoff time. The only thing I took away from that game is I was wrong about the Texans at the start of the season. I thought they were going to be really good this year. Turns out they're really bad. And now let's get to my interview with Jacob Feldstien. All right, today we welcome on
Hi
very
everyone.
special guests,
Hi.
recurring guests. We were supposed to have Simon Gelbart on too for our third annual NBA preview. But nonetheless, the show must go on. The fans are expecting a show.
It's
So
true.
here we have him, Jacob Feldstien. Welcome back. How excited are you for the NBA season?
Just thrilled, really. I definitely knew it was coming back. I've had this day marked on my calendar for.
You definitely knew tonight was the night.
Definitely don't only care about football right now this time of year, and I guess a little bit the World Series, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, once the Red Sox got out, I was out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to start the NBA preview, do we just want to like talk about Otani for a little bit?
Yeah, Otani's incredible.
Is he like the greatest baseball player ever?
You might be.
Maybe. He's gonna have a ton of rings because the Dodgers are,
Yeah, the
great.
Dodgers are winning the World Series. You heard it here first.
Wow. Brave, right? That is brave.
Bold
I,
take.
oh my goodness.
All right. Let's talk a little about the NBA offseason. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but this felt like a very uneventful offseason.
It did. I actually prepared a game. I was gonna play it you versus Simon, but if you want to do you versus me,
All right.
I can do that. Because I just wrote down some random names for a game of who he play for. You want to play that?
I like that.
All right, sweet. I got him here. Simon, this is what you're missing out on. All right, I'll go first. The first name I randomly picked it was Kevin Durant. So yeah, Kevin Durant plays for the Houston
He's on
Rockets.
the Rockets now.
All right. This one for you is Lindy Waters the third.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, come on, Freddie. Take a guess.
I'm gonna go if he plays
Oh,
for. I'm gonna go if he plays for the San Antonio Spurs.
that's correct. You
Am
got it
I
right.
actually right?
Yeah, we're tied 1-1.
Okay, that was a wild guess.
Next one is Miles Turner. Well, this was a big one. Miles Turner plays for Milwaukee. I knew that one. So I'm back up to 2-1.
Okay,
All right. Here. Haywood Highsmith. Who does
Haywood
he play for?
Highsmith, the Suns.
No. He plays for the Nets.
Okay,
This one. It's the three each, so it's the last one. Desmond Bain. And Desmond Bain plays for Orlando. I got that one right.
all right.
Now you, last one. Jordan Goodwin. Who's
You're
Jordan Goodwin?
giving me all the hard ones.
What are you talking about? I picked those randomly.
What's his
What's he
name
play for,
again?
Freddie?
What?
Jordan Goodwin.
He plays for the Orlando Magic.
Oh, Freddie. No, I wasn't going back to back Magic. No, he plays for the Phoenix Suns. So I
Okay,
win 3-1. There we go, baby.
here's some of the
But
easy ones.
like that joke would work better if Simon was here.
Anyways, it did
All
feel like
right.
an uneventful off season.
This was actually not this great. Yeah, it was not a super eventful offseason. You're absolutely right. Was you know, aside from Kevin Durant, the next best player to be moved is probably like, there's been
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner. There's no one that stands out. So I don't know what that says about the season coming up, but maybe it's, could be better because these teams are going to be, I guess, Cameron Johnson, Michael Porter Jr. are the only other ones of like significance. But
Where'd Michael Porter Jr. go?
Michael Porter Jr. Was traded for Cameron Johnson. MPJ plays for the Nets. Cameron Johnson, who is I think gonna be really nice on the Nuggets, plays
That
for them.
trade I did not know about.
Well, that was a big one. That's why you need me.
That's why I need you. All right, so let's talk about the upcoming season a little bit. Uh,
Yes,
I think because we didn't do it last year, we forgot to mention it last year. Let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder.
maybe forget to mention them. They were just the last name mentioned with like 8 seconds left.
With 8 seconds left, right at the buzzer, you were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, the Thunder, they're going to be pretty good."
And they were.
Yeah,
And
they won a championship.
they sure did. So, something that impresses me a ton about the Thunder and had impressed me all that is they're incredibly fun to just watch them play defense. That's not, you can't say that for every team. Sometimes it's, teams are entertaining because of offense, because they have one, couple big guys that can, go out there and have massive performances. And obviously they have that on offense too. But uh, defensively, that means that they can have games where they just don't have it on offense, and it doesn't matter. They can win games 96-89 or whatever. Like
Yeah,
that's how good they don't score 90. They are also really good at offense. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had maybe one of the best seasons by a guard in NBA history last year,
he
and
was MVP, right?
he was MVP. And I see no reason why that success is going to continue. I It is shocking the amount of play they have, the exact same team as they had last year. Like literally everyone except, or not even except, but there was one guy who had to sit out last year, Nikola Topic,
Mm.
who is some really highly touted player. He was a rookie last year, but didn't get any minutes because of some injury. So he's back this year and he's going to be good. And, they're only going to get stronger. I see no reason why they're not going to dominate again.
Yeah, like it's a good time to be an Oklahoma City Thunder fan.
Oh, yeah. Downside is you have to live in Oklahoma City, but,
Don't hate on OKC.
good men.
I've been to OKC multiple times.
Like,
What's it like? It's a classic Midwestern city.
nice. I like that.
And it's just your very nice people, a lot of farmland,
Mm-hmm. And a really good basketball team.
and a very good basketball team.
Um, yeah, I think there's uh, like I said, they have all the players returning, which is actually annoying because it's one of my favorite niche things in sports. It's when a team wins a championship and then the next season there's a ring ceremony.
Mhm.
And one of the players who left the team, they're playing against that guy's new team.
Yeah.
When he comes out, they give him his ring and everything. Like that's so great to me. And that's just, not going to happen with them because they don't have, they kept it all together. It's an incredibly well run team. They still have a bunch of draft picks, which aren't, spectacular, but I don't know what are they going to do with them? They don't have any use for, 7 more young guys or whatever.
I
But
mean, they
yeah,
can always just trade him to get another big piece.
they totally can.
Yeah, no, the Thunder are in the best shape in the league right now. Like, but who
So
else in the Western Conference can compete with them? Like, are the Lakers going to be good this year?
The Lakers, their three best players are all bad defenders.
You think
LeBron
LeBron
can turn
James
on,
is a
but
bad defender?
it 2025, LeBron James is not a good defender.
I mean, he's also 40.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is yeah, I don't blame him for not being a good defender, but he's just not a good defender anymore. Um, Luka's an awful defender. I don't care that he's skinny now. I don't buy into that at all. And Austin Reeves is not a good defender. By the way, DeAndre Ayton is not this great rim protector either. I think that this is a team that has a lot of flaws, and I don't like their coaching. If Simon was here, he would fight back on that. But I thought that last season in the playoffs, in game 5, maybe, or game 4 against the Timberwolves, who they lost to in 5. JJ Redick did a thing where in the entire second half of a close game, he did not take out his starters at all. All 5 of those guys played every single minute of the second half,
Mm.
which is, I think, just such malpractice. But he just didn't have any moves, and then obviously they ended up running out of energy and losing the game down the stretch. Like, it was pretty clear. So I just don't trust their coaching. Certainly not in the playoffs. I don't. And yeah, it's just not a very. It's a weird season for the Lakers because there's the LeBron timeline and then there's the Lakers timeline. LeBron is LeBron, and he's almost like out of accolades now. He's just going to keep, adding to his points total and do all that stuff, and he's not going to win a ring in Los Angeles. But you have Luca, and you really want to gear up for, I think, next season, is what their plan is. So, it's going to be an interesting sort of transition period between now and next season.
All right. Are the Clippers going to be relevant?
Clippers are going to be relevant. Another team I don't trust in the playoffs, but that's because the players. I don't trust, James Harden at all. But I think one of the maybe the most underrated player in the NBA is Ivica Zubac, as the tryhards call him. Zubac is first of all, he's very good defensively, but he's great with Harden in the pick and roll. I like when you think of James Harden, you think like you get that, obviously think the step back, but also that pick and roll that he would do in Houston and just throw a lob up to Clint Capella or like a little lefty bounce pass or anything. So he's really good at finishing those and staying with Harden on all those and everything and setting good picks. And Kawhi is still, I think his reputation is better than who he actually is as a defender, but he can certainly turn it on in close games and everything. And then they got, like Chris Paul and Bradley Beal and Brooke Lopez. Like, they have a weird team, a team that
Chris
would be
Paul's
very.
still playing?
Chris Paul's still playing. I think this is his last season. And they have a weird thing where it's he is not good. So yeah.
All right. Other Western Conference teams. Grizzlies.
Well, the Grizzlies are they just are very injury prone, and they lost Desmond Bain, and I think that's going to be their problem.
I think Zach Edey's a stud.
Zach Edey's out for a while.
I did
I
not
know
know
he's a
that.
guy, but yeah, he's
How'd you
he's
know he's my guy? Because I just said it.
no, I think you've liked Zach Edey before.
I've definitely mentioned I am a fan. I'm a fan. It's a big man's game,
Absolutely, and it
and
doesn't get much bigger or manner than that.
he's 7'4", 7'5".
Yeah,
It's a big boy's game.
he's a big boy, and would have played an important role, but like John Morant and Jaren Jackson are just not ever healthy at the same time, and so they suffer from that. I like Scottie Pippen Jr. on that team. Tell you that much. Vanderbilt legend.
Vanderbilt legend.
Yeah, he is.
I didn't know he went to Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Was he
Well,
was he
I'm
one and
like,
done, or did he actually play there?
I think he was around for a year, for like 2 years or something. I don't know.
All right, a Vanderbilt legend in the NBA, Scottie Pippen Jr.
A lot of people are saying he's the best Scottie Pippen in NBA history.
He's got big shoes to fill.
He sure does.
All right, I'm trying to think of other. Well, Timberwolves. We have not talked about them.
We haven't. I'll tell you what about the Timberwolves is I really like Ant. What a fun player, all that stuff, and uh he really is that good, and he's can I think he led the league in 3-pointers last season, and it's not even like, oh, here's Anthony Edwards shooting it. Like, he's not just a 3-point specialist. He can do a lot and rock the rim and everything. I think Rudy Gobert is a little underrated because everyone just hates to hate on him. And I think he's still a great defender. Here's where I can't get fully on board with them is their point guard right now is Mike Conley. And that's like, yeah, like that's, I don't see him as a point guard who can, you know,
Good
keep up
veteran
with.
leadership.
It's good veteran leadership, but I don't trust him in the playoffs. I feel like he could get easily exposed, and it's just old player at the end of a long season. I think he's gonna have like a hard time. So I'm not in uh, uh, on Mike Conley. I think that they need to figure out either whatever's happening with Rob Dillingham, who was that point guard that they traded for in the draft last season, um, or they would have to maybe trade for someone. I don't think they're able to, but it's that's important that they can, I think, get someone to man the ship there. Or maybe Dante DiVincenzo can take some point guard minutes and Anthony Edwards can fill in a little bit, but it's just not that's not how I want to use Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. All right. You know who my wild card is for the Western Conference?
Hit me.
The Dallas Mavericks.
The Dallas Mavericks, tell me why.
Because if Anthony Davis and Kyrie stay healthy, which is a
Yeah.
big if, you combine that with Cooper Flag, that could be a fun team.
Mm-hmm.
That has potential to be a very entertaining team.
So Kyrie, I think, is out for the first like 2/3 of the season.
Okay, so
So the
didn't
if is
realize
already
didn't
all right.
realize he was that injured.
Well, yeah, well, he like tore his ACL or something in the middle last year, but so yeah, that sucks for them. I think they have a very interesting thing where they might play, and they were doing it in the preseason. They're going to play Cooper Flag a little bit at point guard. Cooper Flag could easily be a power forward, but they used him a little bit at point guard and saw how it worked. And there's a thing going on with them and uh with the Rockets and some other teams where it's like, oh my God, these guys are just playing really big. Like they don't. Everyone on this team is really tall, and there's the shortest guy in their starting lineup is 6'8" or whatever. Like that's incredible, and it's just an interesting thing with when small ball was all the rage, and now that's not a thing, and but just big boy basketball is back. So we'll see if they can figure that out. But it's going to be a lot of pressure on uh, Cooper Flag, and I think he needs to figure it out quickly because the timeline of Cooper Flag is very different from the timeline of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson and all those guys. So you have maybe like a 2-year window of like, whoa, he's Cooper Flag is really good at the jump, and these two guys are healthy and still good, and Klay can still contribute, and now we just got to go all in. So
I think Cooper Flag is gonna be pretty darn good.
you think what is
I
pretty
think
darn good?
Cooper Flag is gonna be pretty darn good.
I think he is too. I think he is too. There's no reason not to think that, but it is just you got to see it.
Mm. All right, sticking in Texas with San Antonio Spurs, Victor
That's right.
Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Is he playing this year? First of all, because I know he was
Yeah, he
injured
is.
last year.
Nah, he's in, and if you saw him in the preseason, which I know how much preseason you were watching, probably a whole
I
bunch.
can't say I watched much preseason.
You watched a bunch of it. You love the preseason.
Mhm.
This is a good angle. Am I sideways now?
Yeah,
For
you're
real?
sideways.
Is this upside down?
You're upside down.
I plugged my phone in, and now it can't be like upright. Oh yes, it still can.
All right.
The San Antonio Spurs are, first of all, I love their draft pick, Dylan Harper, point guard out of Rutgers University.
Are
Uh,
you?
are you, baby? Where you know all about? Are you?
Yeah, I was there this weekend.
That's right. Show them the hat.
Go Ducks.
All right. Did my Rutgers Scarlet Knights end up winning that game, or what happened?
No, it was 56-10.
Crap.
It was
Close
42. It was 42-3 at halftime. The stadium was empty.
Yikes. Did you stay the whole game?
We did not.
Ah, come on. That was unfair. Um, the Spurs, there's a chance that Victor Wembanyama is, at one point we're gonna wake up and it's Wembanyama's league, and oh my God, he's dominating and everything, and so there's just a chance that that just happens this season, and he's unstoppable and he's healthy and all that stuff. So I think that's super interesting. I think Wemby is sort of a dark horse MVP candidate because again, it feels like at one point he's going to win the most valuable player, and so maybe it just starts this year. Um, they have some very good guards, like De'Aaron Fox, who I think is hurt but is coming back soon, and Stephon Castle, who was Rookie of the Year last year. Uh, no, if you're a Spurs fan, there's a lot of stuff you can look forward to, and also they still have the assets for a big trade should it come.
Yeah, I think the Spurs are another wild card, like the Mavericks.
Big
Like
time,
this,
big time. And the Spurs could end up being really fun to watch. In fact, I
all
think they will be.
there's a scenario where all the Texas teams make it to the playoffs.
Is there a third one I'm forgetting, or is
There's
there?
Houston.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I think it's a very likely. Well, not very likely, but I think it's a certainly possible one. Yeah, we want to talk Houston.
Yeah, let's talk a little about Houston.
Houston,
I think Kevin Durant's a little old, but
certainly.
I still think he's pretty good.
Kevin Durant, I have found, has had a really weird post Golden State career, which is weird. Short, like he left Golden State and he was like, okay, I'm making a super team with Kyrie. We're forming up. We're getting together. We're going to Brooklyn. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And it was like they couldn't quite figure it out, so they trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. And now it's, oh my God, we have this big three, and they're not healthy at the same time. And then there's drama and everything. And Durant hits that shot where against the Bucks with his foot on the line, and if his foot was like 1 inch shorter, then the Nets could have very easily won that series and won the championship. So like he was that close, and then he started like complaining and being like demanding a trade and all that stuff. I'm gonna sit, and I never believed that. Always thought it was a bluff. Um, and then he went to the Suns and just did nothing. I remember last season, Kevin Durant hit 30,000 points, which I don't know, 6 players, 8 players have done in NBA history,
Mm.
and Kevin Durant did it, and it was like a very weird moment because it's like, oh, like yeah, I guess he's still around, but hey, he's still efficient and he's still very good and can still move and everything and dribble. I'm watching him play right now.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, the game's on.
and he is a much needed veteran for, here you go, there's Steven Adams.
My man.
My man. He's a much needed veteran for a very young, very fun, very athletic team. And I think one of the big guys on that team is Amen Thompson, who could
Yeah.
maybe be the most improved player. He is so gifted, so special.
Yeah, but both the Thompson brothers are good.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you ever know Thompson brothers' name or what team he plays for.
He is. It's Osar Thompson.
He plays for
Osar,
Detroit.
that's right.
All right. I did know that.
You got it.
All right. Let's talk a little. I think we've covered the Western Conference. Are there any teams we're missing in the Western Conference that
There's
like
a big one.
the Denver Nuggets?
You got it. Right there you go.
Jokic.
Jokic. I think Jokic is uh, incredible. He might be, if he wins the championship, he might be like a top 10 player of all time.
He's already
Uh,
won a championship.
if you, I mean a second one, but no, I think he's incredible and all that stuff. He's my MVP pick,
Who?
and Nikola Jokic is.
All right.
This team around Jokic, I think, is maybe the best team he's ever had around him, and that includes the championship season. They have the depth. I think Cameron Johnson is a big upgrade, certainly mentally, but also he's like a really good shooter still, and is willing to be a much better teammate than Michael Porter Jr. They were traded for each other.
Mhm.
I think Cameron Johnson is much more willing to be a team player and defend and pass, certainly, which MPJ sucked at.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in Valanciunas, who is going to be interesting. They could play Valanciunas alongside Jokic, or he can fill up some of those minutes when Jokic is on the bench. Because when Jokic went to the bench in the past, it was like, okay, we're like, it's over. All the other teams can just dominate us and stop us on uh, when we're on offense. They can stop us easily and everything. Like we need Jokic to keep it running. And now I think they can do all right to like serviceable, which is just all you need around Jokic. So it's gonna be
Hmm.
really good and important. And I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens with them.
All right. I think we've covered all the relevant Western Conference teams.
Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz.
You want a minute
I
on the Utah Jazz?
do I have a minute on the Utah Jazz? I think Lauri Markkanen's pretty darn good.
Yeah, he is.
Uh,
Keontae George,
Ace
talented.
Ace Bailey.
Ace Bailey could be the second best player from this draft. Well, third maybe, but he's really good. And I think people were just felt like he was like, oh fuck, I don't want to go to Utah, but yeah, he's there now, and he might just dominate. The interesting thing actually about Utah is they have Lauri Markkanen, and they have no business having Lauri Markkanen, and they could
Why do they have
very
no
well
business having Lauri Markkanen?
because Lauri Markkanen is good, and the Jazz don't want to be good; they want to tank and keep just getting guys. Um, and so I think Markkanen is going to be on the trade block for a lot of the season. So there are a lot of teams like the Warriors who we didn't talk about, or
The Warriors are just old.
Warriors are just old. But I do think with Jimmy Butler, they certainly have a good identity, and that's a very good second piece next to Steph. But I said to say like Lauri Markkanen, there are going to be teams that really want to trade for him. So we'll see what happens. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if if he's like a deadline trade,
oh, totally, totally, yeah.
like right at the buzzer. They're like, "Oh, we're getting rid of Lauri Markkanen."
Well, that's what happens is, these guys try to wait as long as they can, hold out some hope or something, but then it's like, all right, let's cash in. Like, let's get.
It's gotta be weird as a player switching teams mid-season.
Yeah, I always feel like what do you do like the first three games after you get traded, and it's like, oh, now I just got to figure out everything. Like, how do you do that? It's gotta be crazy. What a weird life it is being an NBA player, though.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Totally.
All right, let's go Eastern Conference.
Let's do it. Let's hit it.
All right. Well, start with your New York Knicks.
My Knickerbockers.
I think they might be the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Pains me to
Um,
say it.
A lot of people do. I love their depth, and it used to not be a thing where
Mhm.
and it used to not matter because they had Coach Tibbs, who would run seven
Yeah,
guys.
Tibbs doesn't do load management.
Yeah, he'd run seven guys, and the starters would all play like 40 minutes. So it's just not. That was really hard on some of the players, but they did, and they succeeded still. But he's gone now, and was
That might have been the
replaced by.
most eventful thing in the offseason is they fired Tibbs.
Honestly, it's like kind of that could be very well up there. That I mean, the draft lottery and the draft is certainly, but yeah, it's well, I guess Kevin Durant is the big one, but everything else is just fighting for second. And I don't think you're wrong. Like some of the coaching stuff really wouldn't matter there. Um,
Mike Brown is a good coach.
yeah,
Mike Brown has won everywhere he's been.
experienced, all that stuff. He was just on the Kings, I believe, last season, and so now he's, imagine going from Sacramento to New York. What a relief that must be for him.
Hey, don't hate on Sacktown. It's a lovely city, my
It
favorite
sure is.
California state capital.
It sure is.
But yeah, I think he's won everywhere he's gone. The question is, can he take the next to the next level?
Which I think that they're poised to. I think that they can, but we'll see if it happens. I think the Knicks' depth is what's really could set them over the top. I think, always, Miles McBride or, Mitchell Robinson, but then you could keep going down to guys like Campaign or Gershon, Yabusele, and uh, you know, uh, uh, Josh Hart or Miles Bridges maybe will come off the bench or something. So they just have a very interesting, pretty well-rounded team, and maybe not the most entertaining if you don't like all the foul baiting stuff, but just what a team poised for something. They could really make some moves.
What would happen in New York if the Knicks won a championship? Like, what do you think the scene
They'd
would be like?
burn down the Empire State Building. There'd be like nothing like it because New York is, the Giants would be cool, but that's not really New York's team, and half the team it's also half Jets. Baseball, the Yankees would be cool, but it's also half the Mets, and the Mets it would be cool. The Mets would be very good, actually, in fairness, but not really. It's not Manhattan, New York. The Knicks, and who cares about hockey? The Knicks are pretty much the only team because who cares about the Nets? And it is really people love them and it's cool and they are a very fun team with a great identity based off of defense. And yeah, that is certainly in the range of possibilities this season and it would cause some real chaos in the streets of New York. That'd be so sick, yeah.
It'd be a full scale riot.
It would be a full scale riot down Fifth Avenue. People would be stabbing each other out of happiness.
There would be cop cars flipped over. I bet
Yo,
there's
no.
fire hydrants popped.
Same thing if Philly wins one, but thank God they're never going to win.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, we could talk. I mean, we don't really need to talk about the 76ers, but we can.
Sixers are going to be,
Is Embiid healthy?
no. I mean, he's never going to be healthy. Embiid, I think there's a chance Embiid doesn't play 100 more games in his career. I'm so fine with that. I hate Joel Embiid.
Just because he plays for the Sixers?
Yeah. Well, he's also super annoying, and I know I'm hypocritical because of Jalen Brunson I like, but the foul baiting stuff with Embiid is really bad. But I heard someone say for the first time really ever last season when Embiid was playing, the Sixers were still not that great with Embiid on the court. So, normally it's Embiid's there and he fixes everything and everything's great, but no, I don't foresee much success with them going forward.
All right. Celtics.
I find the Celtics to be a very interesting team.
Tatum is going to be out for a while.
Yes.
He might not play.
Yes. I have a take about the Celtics. I think Jason Tatum, you've seen the videos like he's back dunking and all that stuff.
I've not seen those videos.
He's posting videos online. He's like, oh my God, he's like, he wants to come back by February and all that stuff. And I
No
think
way.
that's what he is saying and stuff. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think it's gonna hurt the Celtics. I think it's gonna hurt the Celtics because what the Celtics could do is they could whatchamacallit. They could tank this season and get, the 12th pick, 10th pick, something like that, and be good and have a good young guy for the future. But I think that they're going to keep trying, keep pushing it just in case Tatum is back and healthy in time. So,
Also, Joe Mazzulla doesn't know how to tank.
no, he certainly doesn't. But, you just tell him from above, like, hey, don't, we don't play Jalen Brown so much or whatever.
Or
But
maybe don't watch the town 4 times a week.
Joe Mazzulla is kind of I think Joe Mazzulla is a loser.
I disagree. Why
Well,
do you
I know.
think
I think he's a phony, is what he is. He's like, yeah, I'm so intense, and I don't know if you saw his quote with Jalen Brown, but it was like the they were. I think they asked him like, who'd win in a fight? You were Jalen Brown, and he said, all I know is that if I'm going down, I'm taking the other man with me. And we're both gonna die together. It's like, shut up! You're such a phony loser. You coach men who throw a ball into a hoop. Like, not everything was that tense, dude.
he does jujitsu? He does jujitsu where he gets choked out like once a week by his jujitsu trainer.
I could beat his ass up. We could.
I would like to see that fight. I would pay money to see you fight Joe Mazzulla.
Me versus Joey the ass, dude. Barbecue chicken. I destroy him. Because he would be
Masses.
too busy thinking about stupid quotes or something. He's got a little Jalen Hurts-itis. Where he's like, yeah, the intensity was the focus of the jaguar grasshopper or whatever thing. And I would just boom punch him right in the face, and he wouldn't even see it coming because he's an idiot.
All right, other Eastern Conference teams. There's it's pretty top heavy, the Eastern Conference. I mean, we could talk about the Magic. The Magic could be good.
I actually think the Magic will be very good. Um, I think that the Magic are maybe the third best team in the East. They have Desmond Bain, which is a very big addition because the thing that the Magic couldn't do is they couldn't shoot at all last season. And so you're adding a great 3-and-D player, a strong, defender, and all that stuff. So Desmond Bain, I think, is really going to help them. And Paulo, who was the former first overall pick, is going to keep taking steps up, and he was very good last season, and he's going to continue to be good. So yeah, I like the Magic. I like what they're going to do. I think Jalen Suggs might be injured, but he's a great defender for him, and so that's a fun team.
All right, the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis is getting up there
Giannis is getting up there, and it's just so not good around him.
because Damian Lillard's back in Portland.
Yeah, and even that just failed for him. They didn't have anything good there. And they have Kyle Kuzma or Kevin Porter Jr. This is not a good team around Giannis, and is I think it would be pretty frustrating if I were Giannis, but also he's like, "God, I don't care, just sign another brother of mine, and I'll just do it."
He
So
has both his brothers on the team.
exactly. So I don't know if he gets to complain, but yeah, this is not. I guess they did just get Miles Turner, which is good for them, but not super. He's gonna play about as well as Brook Lopez did when Brook Lopez was really good for them, and it's not gonna matter. So
Yeah, I think the
Giannis
pace. I think the Pacers are going to have an off year because Tyrese is injured.
absolutely, because Tyrese is injured and they don't have Miles Turner and all that stuff. They're like they got to figure out who they are for this season.
I think they're going to tank. They're going to get a really good player. Tyrese is going to come back, and they're going to be unstoppable.
Be interesting. Be interesting. I wonder if they're bad enough to tank. With Rick Carlisle, is a very good coach, and they still do have Pascal Siakam. So I don't. I mean, I could see him being like the, you know, 10 seed maybe in the play-in game or like 11 seed, something like that. And so maybe they won't be able to get first, top 4 pick or something. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, all right. Before we go, who's your finals matchup and who wins?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that they are the best team
Mm,
in the league by far. I think you're missing an Eastern Conference team, which is the you got it.
The Detroit Pistons.
No, not the Pistons. I mean, yeah, the Pistons are going to be whatever, but uh, the Cleveland Cavaliers
Oh
are
yeah.
easily the best team in the East, in my opinion. A lot of people would say it's the Knicks. I love the Knicks, but it's not the Knicks. The Cavaliers are bringing back a lot of guys. They have that. They're running it back, and they I think are. Evan Mobley has a chance to cement himself as a top 10 player in the league today or something, and is already an incredible defender. I think he just won defense. In fact, he did. Yeah, he just won Defensive Player of the Year. And yeah, it's they are just very dominant and very
All right.
consistent.
So that's your finals pick.
That's right.
We got an exciting weekend of college football, and it all starts Saturday at high noon with our first of 3 ranked SEC matchups with Oklahoma and Ole Miss. This game is important for both teams. A loss here would really hurt their playoff chances. Norman is going to be rocking. I'm very excited for this game. Moving the afternoon, Missouri's heading down to Nashville to take on Vanderbilt. Who would have thought College Game Day would be coming to Nashville? But they are, and this game is going to be rocking. Two great teams with two great quarterbacks. I think this game is going to be a high scoring affair. Moving to Saturday night, the Ducks take on Wisconsin. I expect this game to be a blowout. Wisconsin's not playing well right now, and I'm shocked Lou Fickle still has a job right now. And also, the Ducks uniforms to the Grateful Dead. Such cool uniforms. Really excited to see them shine. Also on Saturday night, we got Michigan State. I know the Spartans aren't that good, but this is a rivalry game, so you know they're going to play their hardest. And I root for chaos. And I think this game has a chance to ruin any hope of Michigan making the playoff. And finally, another ranked SEC matchup with LSU and Texas A&M. Texas A&M has proved they can win a big game on the road, but this is Death Valley on a Saturday night. It's going to be loud. The question is, can the Aggies offense handle LSU's defense, and can LSU muster enough offense to stay competitive? Texas A&M's defense is a little suspect, so I think this could be a high-scoring affair. Moving to the NFL, we got an exciting weekend of games. It all starts Thursday night with the Vikings and Chargers. Both teams looking for a bounce-back win. I really don't know what to expect from this game. We're going to see Carson Wentz in primetime, which, is a wild card. So who knows what to expect from this game. It should be fun. Fast forward to Sunday, not a great slot of games early window. Giants and Eagles is always fun. We'll see if Jackson Dart can beat the Eagles again. Like this season for the Giants could go terribly wrong, but if you beat the Eagles twice, that's a win right there. The Bengals will probably get another win with Joe Flacco because they're playing the Jets. The Patriots will probably stay hot because they're playing the Browns. Just not a good slot of games. Moving in the afternoon, only 3 games, and the only one worth talking about is Cowboys and Broncos. Both teams playing really well. I'm curious to see how the Cowboys offense does against a strong Broncos defense. And on Sunday night, we got Aaron Rodgers taking on the Packers. I'm excited for this game. I think the Packers are ready for a challenge of playing in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are a solid team, but they are not ready for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers is old. I'm excited for this revenge game. And on Monday night, we got the Chiefs and Commanders. The Commanders are riddled of injuries, and we just found out that Jane Daniels is not playing. And the Chiefs, on the other hand, are looking like the Chiefs, and I expect them to dominate the Commanders. That's our show for this week. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. Big Fred, over and out.